And so I made one of those career moves where everyone was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mwangi Monday. We are still here with Pauline Kiraithe, continuing our conversations on owning your career. Today we're gonna hear a bit from her about her career, her journey. Has she had any challenges, any changes or major shifts in career? And that's what we're talking about today. So welcome, thank you for tuning in. So Pauline, last week we were talking about your book, but today we want to know you and your career a bit more. So maybe you can take us through your career journey, your career trajectory, and the essence of that.
Okay. So I started out working. So my first stint was I worked for 1 year with HFCK those days, which is now HF now. Yeah, that was before I joined university.
That's housing finance.
Yes, housing finance now. Yeah, for 1 year. Yeah, so that one I was very clear. It showed me that I would never work in banking.
Okay.
So I went through into university. But my first year of university, there's an NGO in Adams Arcade that used to recruit specifically university students, yeah, as interns. Yeah, so on your holidays, we would go and we would do our internships there. But what this gentleman used to do is that he would pick out the exceptional interns, and what he would do is he would give you an internship opportunity where when you're still in university, you can still work 2 days in a week. So actually for me, from my second year of campus, I worked throughout. Yeah, so from my second year until I graduated, I used to run admin as well as HR department.
Yeah.
So initially I started out in research. So there's a book that I co-opted and co-wrote, and I was in the research department. Then he realized, hey, this chick is not enjoying it. And so he realized that I have people skills, and he took me. That's how I ended up in the admin. So actually your first good boss would actually be able to realign you properly. Yeah? So my first boss, Mr. Karekezi, he actually is the one who was able to align me to my area of passion of where, because for me, I'm a very organized, very orderly person. I can put in systems. So he realized we can actually tap into this.
Exactly.
And so that's why he put me into admin and people management. So by the time I was finishing 4th year in campus, and I did education at Kenyatta University. So by the time I was finishing campus, I was actually managing a department. So I didn't even tarmac, so I just got straight into managing the department, and I worked there for another 2 years.
And this is still in HR?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was a total of 6 years. I stayed in that NGO for 6 years.
Yeah.
And then now I realized, okay, it was an NGO world. The life was very good. It was about doing research, and it's about getting donor money, and you're able to do the things that you're able to do with funding. But I truly felt that yes, it was a good workspace. He gave us good exposure, and he gave us work ethics. For me, I truly believe, I say, the person I am today is because of that gentleman. He was like communication, an email. You'd never send out an email if 2 people have not reviewed your work. That level of thoroughness and excellence. So, and he believed in also training. So he actually used to give us a lot of exposure in training. Remember, we even went for project management in South Africa. So he taught us that thing of reading. That's when we started even reading Harvard Business Reviews those days. Yeah, he inculcated and taught us you have to constantly be learning. Yeah. So for me, I attribute a lot of the things that I am because of that first job. So that's why they say your first employer can either make or break your career. Yeah. So after that, I stayed there for 6 years, and I felt I needed now to move into corporate because the skill sets are also different. NGO is good, but it might not be as challenging as corporate. So I shifted and moved to Telco. That was when now Kensel was starting with the French. Yeah, and I remember I was employee number 50. By the time I was finishing with Airtel, that was about 3.5 years later, we were about 2,000 employees.
Wow.
Remember those days, our target was how many people have you employed per day? We used to employ 100 people per day.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was a production line.
Yeah,
but it was about setting up an organization. So it was grueling, but it taught me how to set up an organization from ground up. how to do it right and to get it right. And the French, the Vivendi consultants were at another level, global level. So we learned a lot. And we colored the country pink. I don't know if you were. You were there, if you saw it those days.
Yes.
But the country was pink. You remember, those ads? Yes, cancer.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. I enjoyed it. My career was growing. At that time, I was in charge of training and development for the organization. So even those are the days actually Telco skills were not well established in the country. So we would recruit people directly from school and take them for training for 6 months to Paris, France. For training. So most of the engineers right now, majority of them were a product of that process. So I did that for 3.5 years, and I felt for me I was about 25, 26 years, and I felt it was important for me now to grow and move into leadership. And so I made one of those career moves where everyone was, what are you doing? I moved to an organization that was actually going down. So that I got an experience that very few HR people will be able to experience and survive. So I wanted to see if my trainings were actually, or my, sometimes you can be in a good environment and you're doing well, but it's only the tough environments that will show
you what you're really made of.
You're truly made of.
Exactly.
So I went into Chumi when it was going down for the first time, 2005. And it was a turnaround situation, and we needed to turn around the organization. It was a good challenge, but it stretched me. So it was 2 years. I was there for 2 years, and we managed to turn it around. So at least that was what saved Uchumi at that time, where we tried to turn it around, and it was able to survive for another 10 years. So after that stint as well, it was stressful. I used to drive from industrial area. Some parts I'd never seen of industrial area at midnight. I said, okay, this is not good for a single woman. So I decided to change. And so I moved, and that's the point now I got into media. So I actually moved into Nation Media, and I was in charge of also training still. And I was in Nation for 7.5 years. So by the time I was leaving, I was the number one after the HR director. I was managing the journalists from HR, so recruiting the journalists as well as the commercial departments, which were the two critical roles departments in the organization. And I enjoyed it, because media is a thinking profession, so you get to interact with the best minds in the country. So I got to, and I enjoy reading also, so I got to enjoy being in that space. So we were able to professionalize it also, because initially there were no systems. So we put in good systems. We also put in a good culture program. I ran a corporate culture program there for 5 years that was able to turn around the organization. And we were even able to get a lot of awards just due to the work that we were doing there. So I stayed there for 7.5 years. And one of the reasons why I stayed that long was because of the culture change program. I wanted to see it to the end. And yes, after that, we even won the Company of the Year that year award. And then I felt, okay, it's good. I've been under other people. Now I need to see if I can do it myself. So you see, all the moves I've been making were very conscious. They've all been very intentional. So I then moved to Standard Media Group as the HR director. And then that's now me now running the HR department. And I found an organization that also did have structures, but you can see with the background
that you had. Let me stop you there and ask you, so I mean, from the most part you've been in HR, that's been your career sort of field, but in the different transitions, let's say when you left where you were to go to this company that was sinking, in those major shifts in your career, what are some of the lessons you say you have learned? And also my question is what gave you that push to be like, let me go to the unsafe, let me go to where it's stormy, where it's unsafe, and I'll thrive. What would you say?
So for me, the first move is the hardest move. to make that first move, in discomfort is the hardest. But when you make the first move and you survive, so for me, my first move was the uchumi one. You make it and you survive, making it again becomes easier. The second lesson I also learned is when you get too comfortable, you know you've stopped growing. Yeah, so for me, anywhere I feel that I've known the system, I've gotten it, for me, I realize that I've stopped growing. So comfort, just know anytime you're comfortable in an organization, you've stopped growing. Your potential, you're not utilizing your potential. You need to be stretched. You always have to be growing. And I can tell you the toughest times bring out the best in you.
Exactly.
You will never get to see your true potential until you've tested it. You have to test it. So sometimes you will see this is danger, but you have to move. Growth never happens in comfort.
That's true. So because you seem like, even to tackle these challenges, you had a very clear understanding of yourself and self-assuredness. So would you say like a critical understanding of self is very critical or important in understanding one's career journey, or you know, their purpose, or positioning them where they're supposed to be?
And that's why for me, anyone who interacts with me, the first thing I do with you is you have to understand yourself. Because until you're sure of your strengths as well as weaknesses, because it's important to also know your weaknesses, until you know yourself, there's no growth that can happen, because you'll always be self-doubting. I know my weaknesses, and it's okay to have weaknesses, because there's no human being without.
And it's good that you're aware of them, then you can tackle them. Exactly, you have to be self-aware.
You have to be aware. Some, by the way, you never have to tackle. It's your wiring. If you're candid, you're candid. There's some people who would handle it. But the thing is, be self-aware. Until you're sure of yourself, there's a limit. There's until a limit that you will grow until. And that's why you'll find there are people who will sit on a job even if it's 15 years. They know it. Like the back of their hand. They are not challenged. It's 8 to 5. They go to work, but they're not challenged and they're not growing. But they are unable to move because they've been unable to just push themselves.
Exactly.
And I would say the earlier you're able to do these things in your career, the better. For you. Those are not moves you're pulling when you're about to retire.
Exactly, because you have a family, more is at stake.
More commitments.
Exactly.
So those are the things you should do when you're
earlier on
in your career. You don't try and make those moves much later, because they'll be more catastrophic.
So on this topic, what would you say are common mistakes that people make in their career that you've seen?
Getting comfortable.
Getting
comfortable where you realize, oh gosh, time has passed. Now I can't do anything. Now you're stuck. And unfortunately, there's even a term I normally use. It's called the living dead. You're actually alive, but you're dead inside. Because there's nothing that's really pushing you. You're not passionate about anything. So when you get too comfortable, you didn't do anything. The other thing is not taking responsibility of your career. Thinking it was somebody else's responsibility. Not investing in yourself. Because the truth is, your career should be able to carry you irrespective, even if there's a war. That's why the Jews are very prosperous, because they've understood it's actually the knowledge that you have that should be able to enable you to be prosperous anywhere in the world. And that's why they're prosperous everywhere in the world.
That's true.
If you read the book, The Jewish Phenomenon, just read it. It shows you how you should just invest in yourself. You can be able to be prosperous anywhere. So even if you're a good baker or a good cook, even if you're taken to Tanzania, that cooking will still thrive. You understand? If you're a good consultant, you'll be still good wherever you are. So the thing is, understand what you're good at. Focus on it. Become good at it. And irrespective of the conditions or wherever you are, you will thrive. So it's that lack of focusing on the thing that you should be focusing on.
So for someone who is watching us, they're that person who has gotten comfortable in their career, but as they watch, they're feeling something within them that say, take some more ownership over your career. What would be your parting shot to them?
For me, I would say it's never too late. But take calculated moves. Take calculated moves, but get a coach. Get somebody, make the right decisions. Because the other thing is, sometimes you might find maybe it's too late. So you can still stay with your job, but your passions and the things that your side hustles can be in your area of passion. So so that they can complement each other. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, until to the point where you get comfortable that now you've grown yourself and your passion, then you can make a switch. But don't make drastic moves that you're not yet ready for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just get a coach.
Yeah, get a
to
coach
help
and
you
get
with
started
the
on the
balance.
journey.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's never too late.
Never too late.
Okay. Thank you. You've been watching Mwangi Monday. We're with Pauline. We have one more episode that's coming out, and we're just still continuing the conversations on owning your career. Please make sure to like, comment. We want to continue the conversation down below, so leave a comment if anything we've said has registered within you, and also subscribe. And see you next week. Thank you for watching.